Cleaning programs are under more pressure than ever from workforce shortages and inconsistent training to increasing expectations around compliance, accountability, and proof of performance. Yet, for many organizations, assessments still stop at reports instead of driving real change. Today, we're going to explore how the industry can move from insight to real action. I'm pleased to welcome our first guest, Jim Flieler, to discuss the total cost of clean and tools you need right now to get your work done and to verify you're doing it right. Jim, welcome.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
Why don't we start here? Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do and our topic today.
Jim Flieler, Vice President of Training and Product Development and Innovation within the group of companies, 44 years experience with our group of companies here and 10 years previous as a family contract cleaning business, and still learning more every single day. Optisolve is a critical path to our success in our industry for the future. What I've seen with all of the years experience I have is that there's a huge lack of understanding of training, and also the cost involved with training and the efficiencies that are really required to offer clean, safe facilities in our industry. And I'm very passionate about spreading that word and really making it easy for customers to excel and to improve their cleanliness standards.
Well said, Jim. I think the longer you're in the industry, the more you see that there's more tools coming, better tools coming, and this is an opportunity to look at one today. Can you explain how cleaning costs are typically structured in most facilities to set us up for today's discussion?
Yeah, sure. It's an ISSA standard, long-standing standard, is that 90% of a spend in a facility is related to labor. Less than 10% is the cost of all supplies. In fact, it's closer to about 5%. So that means that everything that a facility buys to clean, whether it's equipment or pads or towel or tissue or hand care or whatever, is less than 10% of the cost. And yet the majority of facilities spend the bulk of their time looking for a lower price, instead of labor efficiencies. And one thing that Optisolve really focuses on here is that critical need for finding labor efficiencies, because it is about 90% of their spend.
So with that in mind, when most of the cost is labor, what challenges are facility leaders facing today to address that?
Obviously, it's surrounding training. There's no question about that. I mean, hiring the skilled people is more difficult these days. Retaining employees is much more difficult these days. Language barriers are a huge issue today. I mean, our program here incorporates 140 languages, and we generally think there's maybe 2 or 3 languages out there when there's 140. The training components, the manual reading of paper binders and manuals and all of those things, shadowing employees that have been in the company for years and years and years. I mean, it's all about improvements and things like that, and it's a huge challenge. And it is the bulk of their cost, right? Is training and labor and things like that. SOPs are outdated. In general, cleaning is visual as a general rule, and things like that. And that, quite honestly, isn't good enough anymore. The world is changing every single day, and we need to find those efficiencies and really offer clean, safe facilities. And that's what this program is all about, is offering that to any type of facility, any class of trade, involved anywhere in the world.
Let's dig a little deeper into that, because Jim, some of those watching the program today might be, let's call them seasoned facility leaders. They might say that we have traditional inspections, we have the checklists, I rely on those. If you have a conversation with someone about that, why are those no longer enough?
Generally, they're outdated. For one, the standard practices involved can be outdated. Two, the how they relate to the actual class of facility is a little different as well. A lot of them, if you look at the old standard cleaning checklist on the back of the washroom door, sometimes you'll even find that that's filled out 2 or 3 days down the road as before it's time. So there's just a general inefficiency in that as well, and that language barrier hits and things like that. The detailed process is lacking. typically you'll see an SOP from a facility that says these are the 7 steps that you're required to clean, and just revisit them every 90 minutes and you're good. Well, that isn't that's not helping us at all. Where are the risk points? Where are the touch points? Where are the cross contamination points? What is the cleaning frequency involved with certain higher traffic areas of a building? These all need to come into account and really be freshened with today's time and today's challenges.
Yeah, we've all seen that checklist tacked to the back of a bathroom door. And, some people think that means they're doing what they can, but there's always something more. But at least they're trying, but it's not enough. So, talk about technology. Where do you see technology and AI helping frontline teams the most moving forward?
AI is obviously AI is not coming; it's here, right? Even in our industry, it is here. I mean, there's robotics and autonomous equipment and things like that are. I mean, it's and going back to where I'm from, I wish this was available 40 years ago, as a matter of fact, because it is so easy to implement in the facility. So, I mean, but AI offers that. Really, what AI is about is lowering the total cost of clean. Right. That's taking into account labor. It's taking into account purchasing and acquisition and things like that is what it's doing. It validates your cleaning process. It really secures the business longevity of a company by really offering a clean facility to guests and occupants of the building. You don't eat in a dirty restaurant the second time. You don't stay in a dirty hotel the second time. AI can really come in and communicate the proper processes at the proper time to really meet the cleaning objectives of that particular facility. They lower the risk of cross-contamination, healthier for everybody. It's long overdue. What I like about it is people don't know what to use to clean, and let alone how to use it. This AI program really tells you what to clean, where to clean, how to clean, and how to be safe while you're actually cleaning. And with the documentation and validation automatically offered there as well. So it's exciting times for sure.
Well, Jim, thank you for your time today. We're not done. We're going to have another guest on the program. And now I'm pleased to introduce Sanjaya Abeysinghe, CTO of Optisolve, part of the Swish group of companies. Sanjaya, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hey, Jeff. Thank you for having me. My name is Sanjaya Abeysinghe. I'm the Chief Technology Officer at Optisolve. I joined Optisolve in 2019, and I lead the technology department that built the Savvy 360 platform. So hopefully I can showcase how it has been done.
Now, Sanjaya, Jim just walked us through the 90-10 reality. 90 cents of every cleaning dollar is labor. So from your perspective, what does that actually mean for facilities?
90% of the cleaning budget goes to labor, and almost none of it, or most of them, are not measured. That's a significant issue. There's no tracking, there's no standard, there's no accountability. Different people, different shift, different results. Is there any way to measure this? This is where Optisolve Savvy 360 come into play. Jeff, this is the total cost of clean. Most facilities only see the bottom at the invoice. They don't see everything stuck on top of each other. The rework, the callbacks, the turnover time, customer complaint. And when the cleaning fails, a closed hospital wing, a failed audit, a lawsuit can significantly cost the business much more than actually your cleaning costs. As one director of custodian services told us, a cleaning budget for 50 schools costs less than a single lawsuit. That's a significant statement. So the real question isn't what cleaning costs. It's what it costs when it's failed. And the good news is that every one of those hidden costs can be visible through our Savvy 360 platform.
So you've shown us the assessment and where the gaps are. Now, when it comes to actually guiding the frontline team, what does a cleaner see when they need help on the job?
The idea is very simple. How can we provide the years of experience, the data to the custodian that start on the first day? You might not have all the processes, all the procedures memorized. So it's very important to give that accurate information in the right order to the custodian so they can do their job properly. Let me show you example job. Frontline staff can simply ask a question from Walter. How do I clean high touch points in details? Simply ask a question from Walter. It will give you the complete process information in one single snap. It will give you the process document, illustration, training video, and then overview of that process. Simply, you can click on it, and then it will show you the process document. It will, when you click the illustration, it will show you the illustration on how to clean the high touch points. And then it will give you the flow compatibility, purpose and benefit, and then the safety and PPE. These are USQ information, not from generic internet. And then the preparation guide, step-by-step instruction, and chemical dilution. All that information is in their fingertips. And then when they wanted to translate to different languages, Volta is compatible with 140 plus languages. You simply ask the question from Volta. Please translate this to French. So the entire answer you got in English can be seen or viewed in French language. And that's the power of Volta.
Well, Sanjaya, that's impressive. Real-time guidance in 140 languages. Amazing. But what about structured training? How do you make sure the knowledge actually sticks and people build competency over time?
Right. The answering a question is in the moment is one thing, but building a lasting skill is another job. That's a step to Hey Vault Academy. 300 custodians doing something different is impossible to manage. Hey Vault Academy standardizes certification and training across every single person, and it documents it. So when something goes wrong, you don't guess it. You pull that record and you prove it. Let me show you how Hey Vault Academy works. Here's what custodians see, Jeff, their courses, their progress. When you go to the catalog, they will see all the programs that have been assigned to them. And then they can scroll through to pick what the program that they wanted to carry out. So in this case, I'm going to select washroom care. And then, it will give you how long the course has been designed for, how many modules it has, and also it will tell you what kind of a skill level is required to complete this program. And then it will show you how much achievement points you can earn by completing this program. When you click start, it will give you, the washroom care, ventilation and dusting, the purpose. I think one of the key things that we learned, instead of telling someone how to do it, but if you tell them why they need to do it, they will remember it more. So we give all that information up front. There's an entire documentation on the ventilation, the start, what are the learning objectives, why ventilation and cleaning matters, and that all that information that the custodian frontline staff can read. The next module is, it will tell you, we will give you a visual illustration. The documents are great, but, people, remember the visuals. So basically, it will give you the visual illustration on how to, in this case, how do I clean and dust vents. And then the next one is, we will give you the video demonstration. How to clean.
Hey, Walter, how do I clean and dust vents? Let's discover this together. And crevice tool or brush. Remove all dust and cobwebs from exhaust fan covers with a duster or vacuum and crevice tool. Clean wall.
You get the idea. The entire process is in the video. And then we do a little knowledge check. For you to be the frontline staff to be prepared for the exam, and then we have a questionnaire. We kept the questionnaire very simple to do the knowledge check, and it says 20 minutes, but this should not take more than 5 to 10 minutes, and it has 10 multiple questions, and then the passing score of 80. And then once you complete that, so basically this is what the actual custodians see. But when you go into the manager's view, that's completely different. Managers will see the full view of the progress of their entire staff. Who has been doing courses and when. You can run a complete audit report, the course completion date and time, and that all that information is readily available for the managers to make the decisions. If they have custodian falling behind on the training, they can get an alert, and then they can take the necessary action to help the frontline staff. The custodian's achievement, they can view from their dashboard. So when they go into the dashboard, they can see their achievements, overall points, how many points they have scored by completing the programs, and then how many points they have scored this month. If you click view all, they can see actually how are they compared to their peers, how many badges they have earned and what kind of badges. So this gamification is a turn on and off feature that actually enable the gamification within your team as a motivational factor.
So the team is trained and guided, but how does a facility leader actually measure whether all of this is working and then prove it to their clients or auditors?
Great question, Jeff. This is the heart of our system. Step 3, measure. Savvy 360. You can train them, you gave them tools, but are they really doing it? Savvy 360 measure the quality of clean across 4 dimensions: by facility, by area, or by fixture, and by individual cleaner. So I like to share some examples to explain the Savvy 360 in general. Our core strength in our Savvy 360 system is the digital dashboard, you call it. So this is our heart of the system. Once you collect the data, we are trying to lay out the data in a way that you don't need to be a data analyst, so you need to run multiple reports around the data. So we try to showcase everything in one single dashboard. In this case, you can select the date period. We save the data up to 5 years. It shows you have completed 878 assessments. Your top performing location is 2020, and your bottom performing location is 2060. And then the way that we laid out, and initially start with the notable risk, where you wanted to address the issues right on the go. So whenever you see an issue in a particular location, you simply click that area of your interest and you click open instead of running multiple reports. It will give you all the information in one single snapshot. Where things went wrong, why it went wrong, all the information is right there. And then what we do is we do a location comparison. If you have how many assessment has been completed and what is the average score. Then what we do is we give you the assessment trend across all your locations. Area summary. So how many areas has been assessed, and for what is the last 5 trending point for those areas. In this case, service area of the building has been assessed 142 times and with the average score of 86.09. Then we are going to the custodian performances. How are your custodian performance during this assessment? How many assessments these custodians are being part of and what is their average score. And then finally, we are going to the surface testing with our proprietary Pathfinder technology. Once you integrate the Pathfinder to Savvy 360, it will easily bring up all that information into one single snapshot so you can make the meaningful decisions by looking at the actual data, actual facts. We wanted to add much more value to the customer. So basically, when you go into the customer stat tab, and then you select the time period, we are trying to tell the entire story we told in the previous dashboard in one single snapshot. So basically, this is a heat map. It will tell you all your locations' performance through a heat map for the entire year. Which locations are performing well, which locations are performing poorly. If you see something's wrong, so in this case, it look like 2060 April, something's happened, you just simply click on it. It will bring that data. It will bring the data back week by week if you require. The whole idea is, we wanted to collect the data in a meaningful manner, but also we wanted to present the data in a meaningful manner without you getting into the advanced data mining, or report writing. But now I want to show you how simple is collecting the data from our application. What you see is our Savvy 360 Inspector application. So basically, when you're going to a specific location, you can scan the QR code that are available to you, or you can simply select which location you are in, and then you select you create an assessment. Based on the assessment, once you create the assessment, you can conduct the assessment. All these, the question that you see here is 100% configurable. We help you to configure these questions based on your SOPs. In this case, it's asking, from the inspector, what washrooms are available and accessible to workers during the working hours. You can mark this one pass or fail. In this case, I'm going to make it fail. Then I'm going to add a comment. There are hazardous materials around. Please ensure to clean this area. So in this case, I'm going to take a picture that is already in my image gallery. And then I'm going to ask AI to analyze it and give me a baseline score. In few seconds, it can come up with the score of 62%. And suggestions, visible spots and residue, wipe and clean the basins. So actually it identifies it's a sink or basin. So that's how powerful our AI image analysis model is going to be. Now you see that this area has a problem. You can actually assign to a specific person, which we call corrective action plan. Finding a problem is not good enough for our customer. So what we did was, now not only finding a problem, we are trying to complete the entire loop of how to solve that problem. Now you can assign to that particular person and assign a task saying, this area has not been cleaned. This area needs immediate attention. Please look into this as soon as possible. And then not only that, you can attach a video clip of that 90 seconds video clip of that area. Because sometimes, taking a picture will only give you one dimension of that problem. But giving you 30 seconds to 60 seconds video clip, that will give a complete overview of that issue or issue in that area to your custodian. So in that way, simply click, you assign that particular task to the employee. Once you assign, you can actually assign a due date when this need to be get it done and what time. And then you can select who's that custodian going to be from your employee list. The whole idea is for us to give you a complete platform from start to finish, finding a problem, identifying a problem, and for the resolution, our Savvy 360 platform will help you to get that.
So far, we've talked about measuring performance with data and assessments. But can you actually prove that a surface is clean? Not just that someone cleaned it.
That's exactly right question, Jeff. Verify the cleaning with Pathfinder. Measuring the process tells you what it is done through our Savvy 360 platform. But Pathfinder proves the results. It's precision cleaning for high touch points and make the invisible visible. Here's how it works. I'm going to show you through a slide deck. So when you have the Pathfinder technology, so basically you select the surface, and then we take a contextual image, see how it looks like. Then we are applying our bioluminescent spray, proprietary spray. And then once the spray has been applied, and then what you see is this. So we are trying to take the picture and then apply the heat map for the bioburden in that particular surface and give you a rating from non-detect to severe. So then your frontline staff will see where the contamination is. Great example is this. One of the case studies that we have done a pre-clean and post-clean analysis with our Pathfinder technology. The picture to the left, you see the pre-clean. You can see the surface has been rated with 60% score, and then you will see the sparkling yellow on it, so which shows the contamination on that particular surface. On the right-hand picture is the after we did a proper two-step cleaning process. The whole idea is with our Pathfinder technology, you can see normally what you cannot see for your naked eye. So the cleaners can take action proper action to make sure that particular surface that they're working on is clean.
Sanjaya, you offer a wide range of products that address different challenges, but where do you start if you don't know the current condition of your facility?
The whole idea is, for us to do a site assessment, interview your people, and then understand what your current cleaning cost is and give you a complete report in order for you to determine what tools make sense. We are going to help you there. This is what happened next, job. So basically, we come and do a complete 3D scan and build a digital twin of your facility. So this is how it's going to look like. So we understand every single area of your building, what the square footage is, and then how many rooms you have. And then once it's been done, so we ingest all this data to Haywalter AI. And then once it's completed, we can actually walk through the facility like normally we human beings do. So we understand the entire square footage of the building, what type of flow you have, and how many ceiling tiles are broken. All that information that we ingest with Walter, and then we can have a meaningful data set to compare against what you have given to us. Now we have done this digital scan. You might think, what's next? So we have done this exercise with a few other customers, and then I like to bring one of the case studies that we have done with the local sport community center. We have done the comprehensive digital scan of that facility and interviewed that people, the staff, and they identified SOPs. And then we came up with a comprehensive report to give them where they are lacking today. The first thing is this report identify the current gap. So how this report is being generated is how much time they're spending on the current task versus what they should be doing, and then giving them a step-by-step guidance on what they should do, how to disinfect, what area to disinfect, at what time of the day. This report is laid out in very granular manner. So now we have identified the gap on this particular customer. So basically, what does that translate to? So currently, this customer is spending about $485,000 with 11 team members. So if they have followed the Walter standards, actually, we can reduce that cost up to $196,000, which is a 40% saving, not by cutting labor, by allocating every single person to do the right thing. So now they have a blueprint of the entire cleaning cycle, including the planogram of what zones need to clean at what time of the day. So instead of taking staff away from the roster, they have been allocated to different areas, different programs to keep the facility more clean. How this is going to translate. So, the whole idea is for us with our program, we not only give you the data, we also give you a comprehensive roadmap. We sit down with you, we show you your gap, where your deficiencies are, whether it's through the training, as I shown you in the gap report, whether it's required the structured training, or, whether it's measuring how the facility is clean. We give you a comprehensive roadmap. How you should be rolling out Optisolve tools and what tool. So this is this is an example that we have provided to that community center I was talking about. It's a complete structural implementation roadmap. So in this way, you are not guessing. You have all the data that you need with our support saying that how this entire rollout going to be. Then you can make the comprehensive decision and then see what tools required to make your facility more cost effective in the cleaning space.
We've talked a lot about technology, about data, and AI today. But at the end of the day, none of this works without the people doing the work. When you step back from the product for a moment, what does Optisolve really believe about the people behind facility performance?
End of the day, everything comes down to people, custodian, the frontline staff who work very hard to keep our buildings and the facilities safer and the cleaner. We are trying to empower them with the right tools, with the right technology to help them to do their job in a convenience manner. Here's a simple video that we have done to recognize the work that they do every day.
It is said the world was created in 7 days. On the 8th day, the world looked down and said, I need a custodian to care for my assets, protect my people, and keep my places safe and ready for life. So the world created a cleaner. The world said, I need someone who knows a restroom is where dignity is tested. Someone who will scrub tile grout until it's white again, disinfect every toilet, every urinal, every flush handle, because 100 hands will touch what they clean today. Someone who knows that floor care begins with the dust mop. Someone who masters the damp mop, not too wet, not too dry, and never leaves streaks. Someone who runs a walk-behind scrubber down 100 yards of tile, knows the right pad, commands it like a captain at the helm. The world said, I need someone who understands burnishing the high-speed shine that protects as it gleams, because that shine isn't vanity, it's armor. The world said, I need someone who strips and refinishes floors to a safe, glass-like shine. A well-maintained floor saves lives. Because that's not just cleaning, that's craftsmanship, that's art. The world said, I need someone who knows a gymnasium floor is sacred ground, where champions are made, who thinks about traction, not just shine. Because a well-maintained floor protects people, it saves lives. The world said, I need someone strong enough to haul trash in the rain and strip floors before dawn, who may work 365 days a year, holidays included, while the world sleeps, yet gentle enough to clean around a sleeping patient without a sound. Gentle enough to kneel down and tell a lost child, don't worry, sweetheart, you're safe now. The world said, I need someone who knows that in a hospital, clean isn't enough. Disinfected is the standard, who understands dwell time, follows protocol, because precision saves lives. The world said, I need someone who will prepare the operating room so a surgeon can save a life. Because when they clean a hospital room, they're not removing dirt, they're removing fear, they're creating hope, so the world created a cleaner. The world said, I need someone who guards my children, sanitizing desks, maintaining gyms, keeping cafeterias clean. Healthy kids learn, safe kids grow. The world said, I need someone who changes bedding with precision, erases every trace, so a stranger far from home wakes renewed. The world said, I need someone who works behind the scenes, washing dishes, scrubbing pots, cleaning the grill, so families can share meals without a second thought. I need someone who squeegees windows crystal clear, so people can see out into the world. Someone who lets the light back in. Then the world looked at the cleaner, working quietly, faithfully, often unnoticed, and smiled. Because while others may call it cleaning, the world knew better. It was stewardship. It was protection. It was service. It was care made visible. It was love in action. It was the highest calling.